the truth.
All right, Luke, I guess your reaction to being on the court in the first half, and then assuming you watched it with Isaiah in the second half, what were you thinking about the whole night?
We got to get our mojo back. We somehow lost it quickly, and the last two games offensively we've been fine. We're just not playing any defense. We got breakdowns from the three-point line. Our three-point defense are switching. Simple pin downs, simple parts of the game defensively. We stopped executing, and that's why we've made it such a big point of what we want to do this year. Is it doesn't matter how good your offense is if you're not going to play defense, and that's what we gotta figure out. We play another very good team tomorrow night, so I think New Orleans had about 25 points halfway through the first quarter, and that's kind of set the tone for the rest of the night.
What do you think is the consistent factor in that? You said it's all kinds of different breakdowns, but what specifically, and maybe while you were watching the second half, did you notice anything in particular?
Well, I think it's the way we're starting the games, and then it's just carrying over. So it's once the NBA is filled with very talented players, and once you let people get into a rhythm and feel good about how the game's going, it becomes much more difficult to shut it off, to get your stops. But we had stretches tonight when we did, and we put together 3, 4, 5 stops in a row, and we were able to get back into the game. And then we would do that, and then the slippage came back in. So consistently, we stopped defending, and that's a big time problem. But it's something that we'll fix.
Can you take us through what happened from your vantage point that led up to you getting ejected?
I can, but I'm going to choose not to. I'll choose not to speak on that.
What specifically were you protesting the foul call on Kyle, or was it the technical that got you upset?
There was a lot of things that I was frustrated about at that point, and I just had enough at that moment.
Assuming you also don't, the same thing with the Thomas and Rondo situation was in front of you, but are you rather not?
From my standpoint on that, I thought Isaiah did everything he could to not get caught up in it, and they let it just keep going and going and going, and in my opinion, took the easy way out and just waited so they could give a double T, as opposed to calling it as it was happening.
Was that in your mind when?
That was part of the frustration I had building up. Yeah.
Hey, Luka, it's just strange that Friday Kuzma and Ingram have the rookie sophomore game and coming off of a back-to-back. Obviously, that's not your concern, but do you think about minutes, or do you want to talk to whoever's coaching that game, and is that something you're concerned about after tomorrow's game?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want our guys playing 3 straight games. It's late into the season, and those guys have played huge minutes for us this year. So, my preference would be that they played limited minutes in that game on Friday.
Did you talk to Isaiah about his ejection? Did he reveal to you at all what was kind of at the root of it between him and Rondo?
He was confused why he got tossed out. He just wants to play basketball. He hasn't played a lot of basketball over the course of this season, so he was mainly bummed out that he had an opportunity to play tonight and wasn't able to play more than whatever he played, 5-7 minutes, something like that.
Do you guys sit and watch the game together when you're both back there? Or what's the
Yeah, I went and sat next to him and watched the game. But try not to isolate when I'm angry, so I went and found somebody to watch the game with.
A couple of chances for coaching points, watching together about what you're running and what you're doing, one-on-one.
Defense. It was all mainly just defense. That's, talking back-to-back games, giving up 130 plus points. Not going to win in this league doing that.
I meant with Isaiah. Just are you?
Yeah, we were talking about the game and basketball, but mainly again about defense.
Both those games have come since the trade. Just how much of your defensive identity do you think you lost by taking Nance and Clarkson out of the lineup?
Well, they were obviously big parts of what we did, but that's not an excuse for what the defensive effort we've given the last 2 nights. So do we miss them? Of course, but we still have the personnel to be able to step up and play much better defense than we've been playing.